Hello and welcome to the Jank Tank, a weekly series where I build questionable decks and throw them against the constructed ladder. Today we're playing Boros Doggos. I think the pack leader is pretty solid, and you can probably make a decent aggro deck with this. Particularly, I wanted to play with Bolt Hound. I think having a creature that is hasty itself is pretty important, and then giving all of your other guys an attack bonus is really solid. So I feel like we do have the pieces to make a decent Dogs deck. I will say I wish I had one more one-drop dog that could go in addition to Selfless Savior, which is an absolutely good card. I wish I had one more piece to get the curve a little bit lower to the ground. But what we're going to be looking at is pretty basic. It's going to be creatures, mostly dogs, a bit of burn and removal, and a bit of creature protection. You may want to, if you build this deck, go all in on one way or the other, just a bunch of removal instead of a bit of removal and protection, or all protection, but I tried to find a good balance here, and it's been doing okay so far. We'll get some more games in and see how short this deck actually comes in practice, but it's done alright. So for our creatures, we've got Selfless Savior. It's just a one-drop dog, and you can sack it to give another creature indestructible. So this is a good assurance that we'll protect some of our better dogs later in the turns, as well as just be another body to attack with until he's needed. But it's basically like a protective spell you can cast beforehand. We've got Pack Leader, which is our best 2-drop. It's going to give all of our dogs immediately +1/+1, and when he attacks, all of our dogs take no combat damage. So perfect for our aggressive deck. We can just attack indiscriminately into our opponent's stuff and not really face any consequences for it. It's a little bit slow in that you don't get it until he is actually attacking himself, so you want him on the board early. But he does give the creature-wide bonus immediately, so it's pretty good regardless. And 2 will buff each other, which is nice. We've got Alpine Watchdog and Igneous Cur. These are both pretty simple 2-drops. They kind of just fill out the deck, but they're both in here because Alpine Houndmaster is in here. He is a 2-drop that is a 2/2 himself. He is not a dog, but he gets you an Alpine Watchdog and an Igneous Cur from your deck and puts them in your hand, which is quite good. And then he gets +X, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. So he usually swings for 4 damage or so, which is pretty solid. And he is also a human for our Fight as One, which can be a nice trigger. He is usually one of our biggest attackers, so they usually want to trade against him pretty efficiently. They'll, swing with or block with a 2/2 or something like that. Fight as One will make a human indestructible and a non-human indestructible. Mostly I want to keep this pack leader protected, but sometimes we're going to get additional value with the Houndmaster as well, which is nice. If you play like a Houndmaster and a pack leader, then you can fight as one man up against board wipes as well. We've also got Underworld Ragehound. Fits right into our aggressive game plan of just attacking with a bunch of dogs. And if they wipe the board, you can just get back on the board immediately with a Ragehound. It doesn't matter what you've got in your hand. You can just pay 4 mana and get 4 power dog in play. And then finally, we've got Bolt Hound. So like I said, he's a 2/2 for 3, but he'll buff all of your other all of your other creatures, in fact, when he attacks, making him just a nice value add for our less impressive dogs, like the Alpine Watchdog and the Igneous Cur. And then we've got some stuff to help us push damage through. We've got Scorching Dragonfire, deals 3 damage to creatures with planeswalkers. It can help remove blockers or help keep planeswalkers in check. If they play like a big Teferi, the 4-mana Teferi, you can Scorching Dragonfire it to help keep him from phasing your stuff out, or take him out if he did Scorching Dragonfire, or did phase your creature out. It goes down to 1 or 2. It's just some good utility and gives you some flexibility. We've got Flame Spill, which is 4 damage to a creature, but it deals excess damage to the creature's controller, so it's a mix of removal and damage to the opponent's face. I've won games off of this where I attack with not quite enough power. They block what seems like a good block, and then I finish off one of their creatures for an extra 3 damage to their face because they had 1 point of toughness left over. So it can duel as removal and damage, so it's pretty flexible. So I included a couple at the top. And then finally, we've got our protection. We've got Fight as 1. Gives something indestructible as well as +1, so it can help swing combat in our favor. But it's also just good insurance against spot removal. Gives us a good tempo swing. If they spend 3 mana killing a creature, for example, like Murderous Rider, just give it indestructible, and we gained a 2 mana advantage there. We could have played like an Alpine Watchdog and kept it safe, whereas they waste their whole turn not killing our creature. And then we have Unbreakable Formation. This is kind of our insurance against board wipes. You can save it until they play, Storm's Wrath or Shatter the Sky, and all of our creatures gain indestructible, which is great for swinging back the next turn because they just destroyed their own board. Or you can use it aggressively if you don't think they're getting ready for a board wipe. Play it on your main phase, put a 1/1 counter and Vigilance on all of your creatures. It's very, very strong. Lets you swing for quite a bit of extra damage, and if that doesn't finish them off, they will need to have a board wipe or some serious removal in order to withstand your next turn as well, because your guys all stick around. So it's a great tool for closing out a game. If not an immediate win, it should set you up to win the next turn. And then we do have an Act of Treason to help push a little bit more damage through. Just gains control of a creature of theirs and lets you attack with it for the turn. If they're relying on a single good blocker, then you can just snag that blocker and get in for some extra damage. It can help close out the game, kind of like an Unbreakable Formation can, just by giving you a single good combat step. I felt like it was a little bit more effective than trying to run another piece of removal, like 2 more copies of Flame Spill. Act of Treason will probably get us in for a bit more damage than that. Over on the lands, you should probably be running all your Sacred Foundries. I only have 1 because I wasn't playing a lot during the Ravnica sets. I put in 2 Animal Sanctuaries, but I don't think I would recommend this. We're going to do it because it seems cool. This lets us spend 2 mana plus this land to put a +1/+1 counter on a dog, which is neat, but the way that the curves like this go, you generally want access to as much colored mana as possible. Because let's say I have an Alpine Watchdog or a Houndmaster that I want to play as well as Fight as 1. If I've got a Plains, a Mountain, and an Animal Sanctuary, I can't do that. I just can't play, my important white cards and keep Fight as 1 mana up. So you're probably better off just putting in some more Plains in this deck, to be honest. But it's cool. We may get some good activations off of Animal Sanctuary. I'm not too worried about winning every game right now, so just keep that in mind. Animal Sanctuary is a neat card, but I don't think it's really what this deck wants. It's a little too slow for it. If you are activating your Animal Sanctuary, you're probably opening yourself up to a piece of removal, and you'll just lose a huge tempo swing. So it's not great. Sometimes it's a neat combat trick, though. All right, let's hop in and see if we can rush down a few opponents. This is post their ban list, so Teferi, Growth Spiral, and Cauldron Familiar have all been banned. I haven't gotten a good look at what the meta is looking like so far. So it's not a great hand. I would like another mountain, but I think we can keep it. I'm sure we'll get to a mountain at some point. And then we draw our Animal Sanctuary, and it's just going to be exactly what I told you about. We'll play Igneous Cur. We can threaten a pretty dangerous attack here by attacking with it, leaving our mana open, and he won't want to block with like a 3 toughness creature. Like that. What does a Burning Prophet do? Cast on creature, it gets plus... Okay, so he's going for an aggressive... Interesting. I'm going to play Alpine Watchdog. And I'm guessing he's going to have a lot of burn in this deck. It looks like he's going to like run Scorching Dragonfire attack sort of deal. I don't really trust this. So we're going to see what he does. He knows that if he blocks here to the Alpine Watchdog, he risks getting hit with removal spells. I think he's going for it because he has a counter spell in hand. So I'm actually just going to spend some of my mana like this, and he can burn the Igneous Cure if he'd like. Okay. So he's gonna get my Alpine Watchdog. I'll get in for 3 damage, and I should get the Pack Leader. The Pack Leader will probably just eat a shock, I'm guessing. But if I'm lucky, he'll wait until my attack step to cast spells. He shouldn't. I don't think he's going to. Okay, so he's going to get a bunch of tokens for his stuff as well. If we can protect our pack leader, I think this is all okay. So I'm going to save this Unbreakable Formation mana basically indefinitely. Alright. I did mean to pump the Igneous Cure there, but that's okay. Flame Spill would be pretty good here. I am strongly considering it, but I think we're playing aggressive. If he wants to spend 4 mana to draw a card, I think I'm okay with that trade. We can definitely capitalize on that. What we need to do is keep Unbreakable Formation active, which is probably not going to work, because he can get himself into a situation where he plays Shock and has Counterspell mana open for my response. Which, that might have been why this Spectral Sailor is here. It might be trying to turn on Lofty Denial, in which case I'd really want this Flame Spill. Oh, okay, he's going to bounce it. Interesting. I'll just hit his face real quick then when his mana's down, and he'll get a bunch of tokens, which is annoying. So we don't have enough to keep Unbreakable Formation up. So there's not much point in attacking, is there? Oh. Alright, I think I just threw the game. I forgot that my pack leader is no longer active, so he can just trade away. He does not want to. Excellent. Made a teeny mistake there. Oh, okay, he's doing weird stuff that doesn't care about Unbreakable Formation. What permanent do I get? I get a fairy. Okay. Presumably that's going to get bounced later, if he ever feels the need to. Well, if he's not running direct damage, then I guess what I want to do is play Unbreakable Formation right now to get a bigger fairy and hopefully leverage some victory like that. Let's go straight to his face, because eventually Flame Spell 2 might show up. We'll kill his pack leader. And let's get some more cards. I like cards. Fight as one would be really nice here too. It doesn't seem like he's running a lot of burn, but still useful to me as a combat trick. Okay, he's gonna get my Hound Master. Seems pretty good for his deck. He's making a lot of tokens. Let's see, so I can get 2 in there, maybe. I don't think the Igneous Cur is going to get a successful attack in. I think he would die. So my plan is just to take the Houndmaster next turn and swing with everything. If I'm lucky, I'll draw a Bolt Hound as well. I didn't want him to have another blocker, but I guess that's how it goes. I guess an Act of Treason the flyer now. Aminal Sanctuary. So if I use the Act of Treason too early, I'm just going to lose. The Watchdog's pretty strong here. Because it can trade pretty effectively right now. Oh no, if he has one spell, and I'm pretty sure he's got Opt in his hand, maybe 2 Opts, then it's going to just trade with a Burning Prophet. Let's just be as aggressive as possible. I haven't done the math, so this may end up being a mistake. But maybe if nothing else, it'll put him enough on the back foot where I can finish him off. So he's got a chump here, or trade, but I suspect it's chump. Summoning Trample for this deck might not be a bad choice just because of the Houndmaster. Seems good. Alright, so Sailor is probably just going to eat this. Okay, kills the Igneous Cur. He's not messing around with these curs. Chump, chump. So I get 1 point of damage in. Trade and chump. Yeah. No, it looked like a pretty good block to me. Alright, so I guess our best option here, we're killing a lot of this stuff, is just to pump this thing. No reason pumping anything else, so... He keeps his Houndmaster, I lose most of my stuff. It's not bad. This Saheeli's done a lot of work for him, but there's not really anything I could have done to stop her. Flyer would be nice now, though. Oh, sweet. That's really good. Are we gonna get there? Unbreakable formation. That really helps this Alpine Watchdog out. Enter maximum chump block mode. Alright, let's going to put the counter on our Igneous Cur. because I want him to be able to swing into this stuff later. So I get 2 points of damage in. Okay, so he draws a bunch of cards. Well, he draws 1 card. And if he doesn't have an instant or sorcery, then he's going to just lose all his stuff. Alright, let's see how this goes. It's a losing battle. But I mean, he can opt, and just get right back in here. Stolen by the Fae would be quite good again. Lava Coil. Targeting. Well, let's see if we can get away from it. Man, it feels like he's gone through a lot more than just these cards. He's only cast 10 spells. Okay, a Bolt Hound might get us pretty close as well. Fight as 1. That's okay. It's not amazing. Okay, he gets a million more blockers. Doing this for the Watchdog does open it up to fight as 1 right now, but that's okay. Or not fight as 1, but a Lava Coil. This Underworld Rage Hound is going to run into a lot of creatures. Seems really good. Sanctuary's done a lot of work for us this game, though. No, he gained a life. That does actually set us back quite a bit. That sets us back pretty much the whole way. I don't think I come out of this without an act of treason now. Well, that's not true. I can still attack into this nonsense. I mean, presumably he's going to... No, he won't block here because I can just put the counter on. Scorching Dragonfire. Is this it? I can kill this. He probably just gets another. Yeah, I'm probably off better killing the Spectral Sailor instead. We're going to go ahead and try and put the counter on the Rage Hound if he plays removal. Okay. We've got plenty of stuff to Yeah, we're just gonna escape it, I think. It's 4 to escape. That leaves me fight as 1 and or Scorching Dragonfire. Yeah. I don't like his card drawing. I think it's way too late, though. That probably would have been better spent on a blocker. Man, if he didn't have anything, I could have won there. I should have just gone for it. We don't have any recursion. It doesn't matter what we exile. Okay. Tapped out when I shouldn't. Okay, I feel like he would have played an Instant Sorcery if he had one there to kill this. Alright, we did it! Animal Sanctuary. Good in the really grindy game. That was, it wasn't intense, that was just very long. This is what standard's like on the gold ladder. I thought this deck would play quick games. Expect blood. Okay, alright, our opponent's gonna play some blood cards. Maybe he's playing black-white life gain. Bolt Hound would have been welcome at any point in those last games. Alright, well, we have a Bolt Hound. We got our mana, so we'll keep this. I would appreciate drawing a Pack Hound or Selfless Savior or both. Selfless Savior into Pack Hound is basically the curve that we want, especially into Bolt Hounds after that, but can't have the perfect curve. That doesn't bode well for us. Hateful Eidolon is usually a deck that runs a lot of cheap removal. So we're going to burn that before playing our Igneous Cur. We'll just give it the old Scorching Dragonfire. Let's see if he plays any sort of enchantment on it. Seems unlikely. Just gonna go Bolt Hounds. Next turn I can go 2 Cur. No Murderous Rider from our opponent. Probably... I don't know what he'll play. I'm assuming he's got, like, Mire's Grasp. Deadweight, yep. Yep. But what if there are 2 of them? How will you handle this? I mean, I guess if he plays Mire's Grasp on 1, I can swing back for 5. That seems nice. He could go double Mire's Grasp. Between Deadweight and Mire's Grasp, we could very well have 2 pieces of removal for these, which will be very sad for us. Even sadder would be Hateful Eidolon Mire's Grasp. This deck is not equipped well to deal with this. Yeah, seems good. So we can kill the Loris, and I think that's basically our only choice. Hopefully it doesn't just bring it right back. But I'll admit I don't feel very confident about this match. Cheap removal is a pretty good counter to early aggro. And we just don't have the cards to deal with -X, -X. Yeah, okay. I'll just concede it. There's no way this is happening. At best, I could Active Treason his Loris and replay my Igneous Cur, but he'll just deadweight it again. Seems good. It's just a very effective counter to our deck, so there's not much that we can do about it. If you want a counter to it, then you'll probably have to do... we don't really have any options for Graveyard Hate, so you'll need protection spells as well as more removal. So if you're sideboarding against it, you might want the idol on the Alseid that sacks to give protection. Okay, that seems... we can play some Magic. Fervent Champion's one I considered for this deck too. Another human for our fight as one, but he wasn't a dog. Alright, we get hit a lot. It's pretty bad for only having 2 mana so far. Going down to 5, or going down to 15 before we get our second land. Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher seems good. Grimrock. I like it. Okay, so we've got Fight as 1 now, which will help us weather a Bone Crusher. I don't think that I want to attack, though. We'll just play the defensive game for the moment. Yeah, there's that Bone Crusher. I would like my pack leader to live, please. See, if this were protection too, his Bone Crusher would be gone. But that's not what's happening. Let's get some card advantage. Let's get the Watchdog. Then we can start attacking. I guess we can start attacking now. He can't... combat damage is all prevented against me, so... if we're not losing, we're winning. That's a good Fervent Champion, though. That's an okay Fervent Champion, to be honest. Watchdog still blocks it, because I've got a good pack leader. That's a lot of guys. I really don't know what to do here. I feel like Flame Spell is the safest play. If I swing with everything, is he pretty much dead? I bet so. Yeah, let's just attack and see what happens. That's a lot of stuff. Fervent Champion double block the Houndmaster is pretty good. Which he didn't see. Alright, so if we untap, we win. If he goes, like, plays 4th land Torbrand, we could just go down 14? Yikes. I think we got it, though. Flame Spill is lethal. Fervent Champions turn Rimrock Knight into a monster. Does he have a Embercleave here? So that Embercleave would be 12, 13, 14, 15. I think That's okay. Emberqueef's pretty good. Nice. Very good. I think we're still one. Nice. Flame spill. Very close. Malefic Scythe. I like the Scythe. I think it's a little too slow. Needs the right token Saki deck. Maybe you could go like Baron with some token generators when they come into play, like the Woe. What's it called? Woe Herald? Woe Spreader? Woe Strider. That's it. Yeah, we can keep this. We got all sorts of cards to play. Lord Goderic. He's playing the best shark, Voracious Shark. I want to get back to Simic Flash. I think it's very good. But we haven't really seen any of it. It's all been aggro recently, in one form or another. The Alpine Watchdog. Fight on would be nice here. Or, not fight on, fight as one. Let's see. Well, if he's blue-black, then I guess we're going to run into some Thought Erasures. Let's start getting some card advantage while we can. Need some lands. Cry of the Carnarium would be pretty good here. That would be Sad Dogs. No Cry this time. Still could be coming, though. A board wipe. Yeah, there's not really anything I can do about it. He's got Cry of the Carnarium. He has Cry of the Carnarium. I guess a better play here probably would have been to just play the Igneous Cur and not the Watchdog. That way, if he does wipe the board, we're not stuck on a single Igneous Cur. Which could be worse things to have. At least on a clear board, I can still get a lot of damage in. Just hope he doesn't have another Kaya's Wrath. Yeah, this board would look a lot nicer if it had an Alpine Watchdog on it as well. And I knew that was going to happen, so that's a definite player. But now he's got to play a kill spell on the Cur. Or wipe the board again. He's probably weighing his options for playing a creature versus Thought Erasuring me to take out what else I've got in my hand. Thought Erasure is good, but if I play another land, that's potential 7 damage to his face that he can't really afford sometimes. I mean, he might be able to. Another piece of, like, Thought Erasure plus next turn kill spell is probably safe enough. If he's got another Kaya's Wrath, then he knows exactly how to play it. He's either thinking very long and hard, or he's stepped away from his computer. Alright. I guess it's my turn. is the exciting matches you guys have been waiting for. Chump blockers for 20 minutes and AFK control opponent. Here's that control, though, that I was talking about. Fight as one would have been really good against that Kaya's Wrath, too. Can't draw everything. It's hard to have the right mixture of cards in your hand when you're not playing any sort of filtering or card draw. Alright, well if he is auto-passing because of his timer, then I guess we're safe to attack and pump the cur. I was considering leaving one activation up so that I could bluff, like, fight as one or something, but I'll get the 7 damage while I have it. Looks like he's not AFK anymore, since he's hovering over my cards. No, that life gain. Yeah. Some sort of protection would have been good instead of 7 lands. I'm only running 23 lands in this deck, so not much else we can do. Maybe he'll play a 7-power creature I can active Treason. Or he'll just play a Dream Trawler. I assume he's got a Voracious Great Shark at this point. Which is actually pretty good for us if he goes Voracious Great Shark. Alright.
At your service. Prepare for battle.
Indestructible. Prevent all damage to be dealt during our turn. Oh, there's that fight as one. Cool. Well, that's unfortunate that we can't active Treason it, and he's just going to give himself lifelink. Up to one other target creature. That's nice. There's no point in Scorching Dragon firing him then, because I'm not going to ever destroy him. Murderous Rider. Okay. And yeah, it's not really an opportunity target for Flame Spill. Let's try Scorching Dragonfire. If he counters that, then we can Flame Spill, I guess. Alright. We got that 1 damage in. That's what's really important. Now he's tapped out. A Bolt Hound. Hilarious. I mean, I guess he could just exile it now, play another Gideon. Fight one doesn't give hexproof. So now we're in an actual active treason range. If he plays a creature, then I can steal it. But he is running counter spells, so it's a little rough. I'll fight as one that. I mean, I'm not making a gameplay error here. I want the Fidus one. I'm assuming it gets drowned. Oh. Okay, he's down to 2. If he casts that Murderous Rider, then we probably win. I think at this point he does throw away the Gideon. And if we're lucky, he'll cast Murderous Rider. Because he can't really afford to leave a creature in play for me.
Your light will
Oh, he
cleave
pluses up.
darkness.
Alright, so he has something for the Bolt Hound. Oh. Okay, I don't think there's a card that saves him here. It's gonna have to be something that deals with 2 Bolt Hounds and isn't a flash creature. I guess he could have another 2-mana removal spell. Nope. Alright, we did it. He got greedy with his Gideon. Close games. I want to just play like straight burn. Nothing but damaging spells. I guess you could play like the Terror of the Peaks too. If they ever try and destroy it, it damages them. Dies to board wipes though without any problem. Yeah, we could do... Might be able to do a mono burn deck. It'd be really bad. There's a lot of decent life gain out there right now, especially with Uro. And Uro's not gone yet, so... Okay. I think next turn I'll go Watchdog. Oh, speaking of Uro. This isn't Growth Spiral, but it's probably Lofty Denial. I'd like a fight as one here. It's a flash deck, which means counter spells for the rest of the game. Yeah, he doesn't want to trade. I will... Ooh, I don't know which is more important, the Preserver or the Cutthroat, actually. I'm gonna go for the Cutthroat. The Preserver eats mana, and might be okay, therefore. Alright, well this is pretty obviously a Spectral Sailor. He's probably fine with a Rage Hound, because he can chump block it, I guess, play things that'll block it. It's a kind of a known quantity, and he's trying to race me down here. He's probably less fine with a Pack Leader. Cool. So I should have led with the Pack Leader. Oh well. Ooh, juicy act of treason. Fight as one would be pretty slow here too. I really hope I can stick this Bolt Hound. Nope, no Bolt Hound for I. Does mean I get to swing though. Preserver unlikely to take the trade here. Still not safe. Oh, a flame spell. Man, he's been stuck on 2 lands for a long time. His hand's just full of spells then. Okay. So if I go Watchdog, or just swing with the Watchdog, that probably gets in. I mean, you can't have counter spells forever, right? I think Bolt Hound's still to play here. I guess you could have counter spells forever. Essence Scatter, Quench, Lofty Denial. Thinking. Doesn't feel like it's gonna resolve. Yeah, cool. Super exciting. Oh, we got another land. Still not safe. It's never going to be safe, unfortunately. We're going to just Bolt Hound again, I think. It's not going to resolve. Not going to stick. Alright. So now he's got Brazen Borrower plus a mana. Cool. Which means that his play is fairly obvious, which is... yeah. I'll make that trade. Is this what we're doing? Of course it's not. Alright, so now I just flame spill his face. Cool. And since we had our lands, I've got another creature. So I've got 3 here, 6 if I active treason the Brazen Borrower. So if he has nothing, then I can win. Of course, he doesn't have nothing. Let's try a Bolt Hound though. This is in very exciting territory in terms of damage race. Alright, so he's got a Preserver. So this trade I'm not thrilled with, but I think it's okay. He is running out of things at this point because he's gotten some lands. So Bolt Hound might get us there. Oh, nope, I have miscalculated ever so slightly. And I think that means we just lose. Yeah, we lose. I needed one more land. Now let's see if he had anything. Maybe he'll do something instead of... oh, okay. he had just played the Brazen Barler, he would have won, but he didn't know what I had. I might have had a pump spell or something. So now I don't think he can kill me this turn, and I can Act of Treason plus one of my 2 creatures. I mean, both of these are lethal right now. If I just go Bolt Hound, that gets countered, and then I attack and win. Wildborn Preserver. So counterspell Wildborn Preserver makes me lose. If he has a counterspell, though, then anything will make me lose, right? I don't have a way to play around a counterspell. Take Act of Treason. Yeah, it really depends on what his last card is. Just go with Bolt Hound. I don't think he's got another Wildborn Preservers. Why I made this call. Intervention. Okay. So he's digging for... Maybe it was a Wildborn Preserver and it tapped his mana wrong. Spectral Sailor would be good too. Alright, good game. Very close. Okay, well, that was moderate success. Honestly, better than I expected for it. We didn't get any cool plays with Unbreakable Formation, though. It's too bad. Game's drug out a little long, especially for a deck that's, like, tops out at 3 mana. Let's go back and look at what we got. Alright, so sideboard stuff. In place of the fight as ones, you can go with Revival. I like this because it will get you anything that's died this game rather than just what's being targeted currently. Fight as one is faster because it's cheaper and doesn't incur summoning sickness. Whatever they're trying to kill still can attack that turn. But you can do some neat things with the Revival, specifically getting back Pack Leader or Bolt Hound. Pulling a Bolt Hound from your discard pile to attack is a pretty vicious swing of health. The downside is it costs a double white, so I think Fight as One's the better card, but Revival can be pretty neat. If you're looking for a little bit more durability, you can probably put the Revivals in, maybe in place of the Unbreakable Formations. I like Formation. We didn't really see it because we've only got 2 copies in the deck, but there was really only 1, maybe 2 scenarios where I wanted it in play, so it's alright. I haven't tried Basri, but I suspect he would be fun with this deck. Giving you the ability to attack indiscriminately is very strong. He's one of those planeswalkers that works really well in an aggro deck because he helps you attack, and if they try and swing back to kill Basri, then they're opening themselves up to your continued attack. They attack with their creatures, Basri dies, but you get to attack next turn because they don't have blockers anymore. So it's an alright card. Generally, I would rather just have creatures. I would probably put something hasty in before I put in Basri. But there aren't a lot of great hasty choices. But he's fun. If you want to play with a Planeswalker, I think he would do pretty well. For haste, though, I added in Chandra as an option. Creating 2 elementals is going to help you counterattack Planeswalkers that come down and expect to defend themselves. She can just make stuff that will attrition themselves against their Planeswalkers kind of relentlessly. She's a little hard to defend, though, especially since we generally want to attack with our stuff. The Pack Leader is much better attacking than defending. So she is a good source of recurring damage and deals with board wipes pretty well. thanks to the way she just sticks around. And our -2 can hilariously just play Unbreakable Formation again, which is pretty great. Also cast Flame Spell if you want. So she's got some good spell options for a -2, and making elementals every turn's fair. So you got 2 good options for Planeswalkers at the 3 slot. I tossed in, I'm playing around with the idea of Embereth Paladin, because I do feel like having hasty options is important for this deck. Something to just give you an extra punch that they weren't ready for, because you can kind of keep them on their back foot with the early creatures. This deck does pretty good at presenting threats, and just having something that tips that attack on a turn, kind of like Act of Treason does, is going to do some good work for you. And again, having options for when they board wipe is always important. So I would slot this in place of Unbreakable Formation. They destroy all your stuff, fine. You just play a 5/2 and punch them. It's solid. Samut is a similar idea. If you are not quite on top of your opponent, if they're managing to stabilize, for 4 mana, Samut does a whole lot. She is going to scry for you to help you find your better draws and stop drawing lands. And giving +2/1 in haste is incredible. It's just big enough to tip the combat in your favor if they are keeping up with you mana for mana. But giving it haste means that basically any of your creatures are a better Embereth Paladin. The only problem is Samut's not a creature herself. And finally, Perforous Intervention, I think, is probably a legitimate swap out for Flame Spill. It deals a lot of the same function. It's either damage to the opponent or removal, and that you can cast it for damage straight to a creature, or you can create a big elemental that can trample your opponent over if they have let their guard down momentarily. So it's a decent finisher, and works in many ways a lot like Flame Spill. It's just not instant and doesn't give you the same level of control Flame Spill does, in terms of if you make the X elemental for the damage to their face and removal, like, they can block with anything at that point, whereas Flame Spill, you can pick off their best chump blocker to guarantee that your other guys are trading with things and getting damage into the opponent. So there are trade-offs, but I think Perforous Intervention is probably a better option than Flame Spill. All in all, the deck was alright. I mean, I think it really needs another 1-drop somewhere. There just aren't a lot of good dogs. Most of them are pretty mediocre. Let's see. Yeah, there's not really anything else at the 1-drop. Resolute Watchdog is good, but not in this deck because he can't attack, and there's no way to let him attack. So yeah, there's not a whole lot on the low curve. I did think about playing Kunaros, because the Menace plus Pack Leader is pretty vicious. It takes away 2 of their blockers and probably kills 1, if not both of their blockers at no cost to you because it's a Pack Leader, so it doesn't take damage. But ultimately, I decided there wasn't a whole lot you were getting from the black. It was basically that and Omen of the Dead to just recur your Pack Leader, and I felt like it lost too much consistency like that. Just wanted to kind of narrow it down and play basically the same 2 drops every game and try and get there with them. It worked all right. I guess one last thing that we ended up seeing in our match, Embercleave is probably quite good in this deck. We end up attacking with 3 or more creatures pretty frequently, and being able to flash, give them double strike, is bound to turn combat in our favor, especially if we're having a good day with Alpine Houndmaster. There's the trample that we want for Houndmaster, isn't it? Double strike on like a 5/2 becomes a 6/2 to 6/3 double strike. Yeah, seems legitimate. I don't know what I would cut out for it though. It'd probably be like the flame spells. Instead of killing their creatures, we just go right over them. Seems good. Yeah, that's definitely worth putting on the sideboard. If I had more of them, toss 3 in there right now. No, I won't save. Oh, I guess I have to. Alright, well that's the deck. I'll be doing some more drafting next week, and we'll see what I can come up with. Might just be revisiting the Bant deck that I would recommend for now, see if that can't just grind me up a couple tiers on the ladder. But I'll see if I can find something a little more interesting. Now that Standard's not Teferi, maybe we can do some more interesting things. So we'll see what I have for next week.